Welcome back, it's your guy Engineer Mojo with another car tutorial video. Today we are working on my 2003 Toyota Tacoma. I'm replacing the side steps, aka sidebars, to my truck. As you see, they're all rusted out and grimy. This process is applicable to many other model types and vehicle manufacturers, so make sure you pay attention and hopefully you pick up some good tips for your vehicle. As in all my videos, full tool list is displayed on the screen. Let's get started. Quickly here, I'm showing you the brand and parts I bought for my particular truck. This is a TAC brand for the running boards, side steps, truck accessory company, very popular brand online, but also a very cheap brand. So when you're looking at this, you'll see some reviews about fitment and things of that nature. So part of this video will be a review on TAC and how I feel about it. First off, no complaints on the actual shipping and shipping methods. It was wrapped up pretty nicely. I took that plastic off for the video. The brackets they have in there, all the pieces were in place. The brackets were actually nicely labeled with where they go as far as driver front, passenger front, rear, so on and so forth. And plenty of hardware in the box. They gave you all the bolts and actually extra washers and things like that, just in case you need some extra spacing. So that was nice. Now we can get to the actual removal of the existing running boards. Here's a close-up of the actual bracket connection for my truck. This will vary depending on your vehicle, your connection types, and also whether it was installed from factory or somebody did this on their own. So in my case, I have just only a few bolts that I have to remove. Not every bracket location hole was used, so I'll remove those. Here I'll use a combination of my socket and socket wrenches with my actual hand wrenches to get that off. Now my sidebars aren't very heavy, but if yours are a little bit heavier, this may be a good point to actually get a hand from somebody or use the car jack that I mentioned in the video tool list earlier to kind of help you get this and ease this down onto the ground. In my case, I loosened one side, laid it on the ground, and then did the other side and laid that one on the ground, and then I slid it out from underneath the truck. As I mentioned earlier, this TAC brand does a nice job of labeling the brackets so there's no confusion about where they go on the actual vehicle. Driver side, DF for driver front, DR for driver rear. Now for me, I like to lay out the brackets and the actual installation bolts as they will be installed per the instructions prior to actually installing any kind of brackets. This way I can know whether or not I'm missing any parts. In this case I don't. I have everything I need, plus tons of extra stuff, as I mentioned earlier, extra washers and things like that. Taking a few minutes to do this process helps me methodically install the brackets without any issues. First bracket is in. I install the driver front first, put all the bolts in place, use all the bracket holes that were available to me. During this test fit, I leave all the bolts relatively loose so that I have a little bit of adjustment to play with as I'm installing the brackets and the sidebar. Installation of the sidebar once the brackets are in place, it's not too bad. As you see, I have the brackets kind of loose, but I will say installing this without the help of a second person can be a little bit of a pain. That's why I advise using a jack, especially in this part of the installation. It kind of helps you level out the bracket. I started this out by trying to use my legs first, kind of as a second prop. That worked a little bit, okay, but actually using the car jack was very helpful. As I mentioned, after struggling for a few minutes, I decided to stop being annoying and grab my car jack to help me level out the actual sidebar and help with the installation. With my jack, I have some felt material on the actual jack surface, so I didn't need to add any kind of unabrasive material. But if you don't have that, make sure you add maybe a t-shirt or something soft between the jack and your actual side step so you don't scratch the new paint that's on your side step. With the assistance of the jack and making sure the side step is level, I'm able to go back underneath the car, tighten up all the bolts, and make sure everything is level and in place. Here I use a combination of a socket and wrench to help tighten the bolt assembly. With all the bolts tightened and the brackets installed, I like to go ahead and do a little test jump to see if anything moves. In my case, some stuff did move, so I had to go back and tighten some stuff up. But once it's all good, then you can go ahead and move to the other side of your vehicle, finish that installation, and then you will be done. Overall, the installation wasn't bad at all. The toughest part was taking off the old sidebars just because the bolts are a little rusted. Some things were a little tight. But other than that, it was really easy. I do have one small complaint with the TAC, is that the actual width that the bracket sticks out from the side of the vehicle isn't very wide at all, so when you're actually stepping on the sidebar, you can't really get your full foot perpendicular to your vehicle because your foot will start running into the side of your vehicle. So you have to kind of put your leg at an angle to be able to step up and onto the sidebar. That was a little annoying part, but other than that, the finish was actually really nice. I like the kind of gloss slash matte look that was on the TAC. And all the brackets and stuff lined up, the bolts fit, they had everything in the packaging, so I can't complain on that part. So with that comes the end of this video, end of this installation. If you like the video, please like, please share, please comment, please, very importantly, add any tips down below that will make this a little bit easier. I love hearing about tips because this one could be easier, I suspect, especially if you have two people. But other than that, I hope this was a helpful video. I will see you next time. I'm out.